West Valley of the Four Winds. So next up, Greg's going to come up and talk to you guys a little about some of the new features you'll be seeing in the expansion.
You guys still with us? There's a lot of information we know. We keep saying it's a fire hose. We're just spraying you with new stuff you've never seen before. We usually don't have this much to talk about when we have an expansion, so here we go. Love you too, man. We have a new race, the Pandaren. One of our early concepts here. There's not a lot of the hair and facial styles in yet. If you go out and play, and I encourage you to go do that, it'll probably look like this. That's all coming. They look pretty awesome. And here's the female. And we have variation on the female ready. Now, of course, we don't have the female done, and if you go and play through the starting zone, you're going to see a lot of female pandas, and they're going to say, I am a girl, or something on their name, so just use your imagination. They're coming. As you mentioned, you can be Horde or Alliance as a Pandaren. You start out neutral, and at level 10, you can make your choice, kind of depending on the philosophy you espouse, or more likely where all your other characters are. These are the Pandaren Classes. Yeah, we can talk a lot about the monk, but you can see there's several other classes they have to choose from. Some of these we thought didn't make as much sense. There weren't a lot of Pandaren fighting back in the wars in Azeroth. Weren't sure what a Pandaren druid meant. A bear that turns into a bear? Or... All right, the Pandaren Racials. These have been extensively vetted, I'm sure are set in stone, and will never, ever change. You get increased stat benefits from food. They like to eat. They also like to cook. And in fact, we're going to try to do some interesting things with cooking because that's such a key element of the Pandaren culture. Inner peace. It's one of those ones that sounds really, really powerful and probably isn't, which is exactly what we look for in a racial. This one, on the other hand, is crazy overpowered. I'm sure we'll never make it. And finally, they need something active to do, and this is it. A little bit of crowd control. Wanted to show out some of the awesome weapons that the artists have put together for the Pandaren start zone. You're going to see a lot of stuff like this. We really want it to feel like you're not in Azeroth. You're this new place with an entirely different culture and feel. All right. We have a monk. Again, we're going to start with some concept art. Here they are. See the guy there? Really, really excellent animations. We'll show you some more of those in a second here. So, if you ever wanted to play a drunken master, this is your chance. They have 3 specs. Yeah. What we want to do with the monk healer is to try to experiment a little bit more with a healer that can stand up in melee. If you've ever played, say, Atonement Discipline Priest, you can do a little bit of damage that drives your healing. We don't expect monk healers are going to be doing tons and tons of damage, but we want to kind of experiment with a different type of healing style. Maybe get players who are a little burned out on healing to try something different here. And then finally, you can probably guess what the last one is. Punch someone in the face. We do have this epic start zone for them, so we want players to experience it. With the Death Knight, we thought the story kind of made sense that you're being brought back by the Lich King. Here, it's more that you're starting out on the turtle and eventually will make it to Pandaria, so you start at first level. Very martial arts based. It probably goes without saying, but really trying to embrace this. Even like I said, the healer and the tank are going to do a lot of very kung fu things. And our animation team really delivered on this to a crazy level. There are a lot of new animations for the monk. The tank healer and DPS guy all have different stances they stand in, so even their base kind of idle animations look different. You'll see them all throwing a lot of punches. All of their weapon animations are unique, and this goes for the non-Pandaren too. Oh, you thought that monks were Pandaren only. So our fiction here is now that Pandaria has been rediscovered. While most of the Pandaren are kind of the stay-at-home type, there are the adventurous ones, and they're spreading out a little bit into the Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor, and starting to train some of these other races in the secret arts of monkery, or whatever we call it. I think Tom said, if we don't do no monks, monks aren't worth doing, so. I also can't wait to see a Tauren monk do the role. But. All right, what do they use? They hit a lot with their hands and feet. We really want to deliver on that fantasy that you're sitting there punching and kicking the crap out of those little bunny guys. But we still want them to have weapons. We want you to see your weapons as you're using them. So you can imagine a typical fight might be you build up with your hands and feet, and then you pull out your staff or your other weapon for some kind of killer finisher. We do want to use a lot of stabs and fist weapons. These aren't the only weapons they're going to use, but we thought they're very signature for the monk. We think this will allow us to put a lot more fist weapons in the game. They're really cool. They don't quite have enough users yet, so expect to see a lot more. They can also use one-handed axes, maces, and swords. We're trying to figure out exactly the difference between the dual-wielding and the two-handed. We might let anyone do anything. Dual-wield might be DPS. That's the kind of thing we're going to iterate on. I'm sure you guys will let us know the right way to do it. And healers can use offhands. We don't want the monks using shields. They're leather armor class, so they'll share a lot of the same gear as druids. Agility for the tank or DPS, and intellect for the healer. Okay, one of the fun things about doing a new class is coming up with a new resource system. We want it to feel a little different, kind of capitalize on what we already know works, but just try to mix it up a little bit. So it's an energy-like resource in that it slowly regenerates, and you use this primarily only for two attacks. Your jab, which is your primarily builder, and then the roll attack, which you saw in the opening trailer where the monk is running along that goes into a roll. It's a lot of fun if you go check it out. All our computers over around the corner there. Jab generates light and dark force, which you then use for everything else. So you have some finishing moves that take the light force and some finishing moves that take the dark force. Yeah. We talked about this a lot, and it's pretty controversial, but it's also kind of fun. We really wanted to deliver on this kind of Street Fighter feel that you're punching a lot. And we thought the auto attack was just going to get in the way of that. We wanted it to feel very visceral. You push a button, you see an animation. So I actually think it feels pretty good, but try it out and let us know. This is the current monk resource bar. Again, if you were with us for the Death Knight, this is the kind of thing we iterated on a lot. But you can see we have 4 light force balls and 4 dark force balls on the other side. You would fill those up and then consume them to do finishers. At the moment, in the playtest area around there, this bar is down in the middle of your screen. That's something we've never done before. It's something players have asked us about a lot, so we're going to try it. Again, let us know how it works. Now I'm going to show you a video we put together. We did some fun camera work here, but all of these animations are real. This is what a monk should look like when you're actually in combat. lot of new animations. Really fun. Okay. That's right there. This is a big one. This isn't something we've made a big secret of. We've kind of done postmortems over how the Cataclysm talent revamp worked out overall. We really like the level 10 choice. You can be an elemental shaman at level 10 rather than having to wait till super high level. You get a fun ability like Mortal Strike right away. We think the level 10 specs are a keeper. We also did remove a lot of junk from the talent trees. There were a lot of these passive kind of increases your attack damage slightly, things like that. They weren't very exciting, and we got rid of some of them. We did actually deliver on our goal of engineering some choices. You could finish a tier, and to go down to the next tier, you'd have to spend a certain more number of talent points to get there. When you finished in your primary tree, you could decide which other tree to sub-spec in. We think that worked out pretty well. On the other hand, there are a lot of things that we think we can still improve the talent system. There's a risk of skipping core talents. In the Fury tree, there's a talent called Raging Blow. If you skip it, you're not being adventurous or creative, you're just being a very bad Fury warrior. We removed junk, but we didn't remove enough junk. I think it's a very fair criticism. There's still some talents in there. They're either downright bad or they're just not interesting enough, and we think we can do better. We do have some choices, but we don't have enough choices. Yes, you might have a different final talent point than another combat rogue, but we don't think that's enough. Like Tom was talking about, what talent trees were supposed to do is really give you a way to customize your character, to feel like I'm different from the other people who play my same spec and class. And despite everything we've done, the cookie-cutter builds still persist. We have some customization, but it's just not enough customization. Something players mention a lot is they liked the fantasy, at least, of hybridizing, of saying, you know, I'm going to go a little bit down one tree and a little bit down another tree. We can debate whether or not those builds are ever truly effective, but we know players really kind of want them to be, even if we never really delivered on that.